For thousands of years, entire empires rose and fell, not because of kings or armies, but because of shiny metals pulled from the earth. Gold and silver weren't just treasures. They were the backbone of the global economy. This is the story of why gold and silver almost ruled the world and why they eventually lost their crown. For centuries, wealth meant survival. A farmer might trade grain for cattle, or a potter might swap bowls for cloth. But barter had limits. What if the farmer needed salt, and the salt merchant wanted wine instead? Societies needed something universal, a form of value everyone would accept. Gold and silver answered that need. Rare, durable, divisible, and difficult to counterfeit, they carried something far more powerful than utility: trust. The first coins appeared in Lydia, around the 7th century BC, struck from electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver. Stamped with the king's seal, they transformed metal into money. Soon, Rome standardized the silver denarius, while Chinese dynasties issued bronze, silver, and later paper notes anchored to metal reserves. Precious metals weren't chosen by accident. They solved the universal problem of trust. From that moment on, money was no longer just barter. It was belief, hammered into metal. If gold was the metal of kings, silver was the metal of the people. In the 16th century, Spanish conquistadors tapped the Potosi mines in Bolivia, unleashing mountains of silver. Treasure fleets carried coins, the famous pieces of 8, across the Atlantic. Merchants in Seville, pirates in the Caribbean, and traders in Manila all trusted the same coin. China's Ming dynasty demanded silver to pay taxes, linking East and West. For the first time, money truly flowed globally. But this silver tide had a downside. Spain experienced inflation and dependency on imports, and empires rose or fell based on control of silver routes. Silver's story showed that money is power, and the metal behind it could shape the destiny of nations. By the 19th century, gold became the crown jewel of monetary power. Nations sought stability in an industrialized world, adopting the gold standard, where currency value was tied to gold. The UK led in 1821, followed by others. Gold brought trust. Paper notes weren't promises. They were backed by something rare, tangible, and universally desired. Global trade flourished. Ships carried goods across oceans, financed by bills of exchange anchored to gold reserves. But gold's scarcity created deflation and vulnerability. Countries without reserves were exposed, and wars tested the rigidity of the system. Still, the gold standard symbolized order and discipline, a promise of economic stability. Yet gold's rigidity became a weakness. During World War I, nations suspended gold convertibility to fund massive armies. Inflation surged. Post-war attempts to return to gold failed. Imbalances grew as reserves concentrated in a few nations, leaving others exposed. The Great Depression exposed the final cracks. Governments clung to gold, refusing devaluation, causing deflation and mass unemployment. One by one, countries abandoned the gold standard. Britain left in 1931, the United States followed in 1933. The dream of a perfectly stable, gold-backed world had ended. Gold remained powerful, but no longer ruled alone. After World War II, the Bretton Woods system linked the U.S. dollar to gold, while other currencies pegged to the dollar. But as the U.S. printed more dollars to finance programs and wars, doubts grew. Nations demanded gold in exchange, draining reserves. In 1971, President Nixon ended dollar convertibility into gold. The Nixon shock. Gold became symbolic rather than functional. Silver, meanwhile, was relegated to industry and investment. Paper currencies now dominated, flexible but reliant on trust. The era of precious metals as money was over. Even today, gold and silver remain powerful symbols. Central banks hoard gold. Investors turn to it in crises. Silver serves as both industrial metal and store of value. The history of precious metals teaches a universal truth. Money is only as strong as the trust behind it. Gold and silver provided that trust for centuries. But political ambition, war, and mismanagement could break it. Fiat money gives flexibility, but without trust, it is fragile. Gold and silver almost ruled the world, not for their intrinsic beauty, but because they embodied confidence. And even now, their story reminds us, trust is the true currency of any civilization. If history helps you see money in a new light, subscribe for more.